Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to my colleague on the other side of the aisle, this is the right thing to do, and I applaud you for your courage. I am a practicing Catholic. My faith is very, very important to me. I love my church. I went through 12 years of Catholic school. All 4 of my children went through Catholic school, grade school and high school. And I rise today in support of the gentleman, Mr. Rozzi's amendment. This is the Bible that was at my desk when we were sworn in this session. It is a St. Joseph's Edition Bible. It is a Catholic Bible. It has the Nihilo Obstat and the Imprimatur inside, which mean it complies with all the church's teachings. And I want to go to one part of this, my Bible, St. Matthew's chapter 18. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. St. Matthew's chapter 18. I've got a lot of forgiveness in me. I think I do. But I'll tell you what, I have very little forgiveness for someone who would sexually, physically, or mentally abuse an innocent, precious child. How did we get to this point? As a Catholic, how did we get to this point? When the first grand jury report came out up in Boston in 2002, we read the report in horror, absolute horror. One priest being accused of sexual abuse would have been too many in my mind. And then we had the 2005 grand jury report in Philadelphia, and a second grand jury report in 2011. Horrific, despicable, you name it, appalling crimes. And the cover-up. One of the members of the clergy a short time ago told me, these crimes happened 40 years ago. What are we going to do now? I don't give a damn if they happened 40 years ago or 40 minutes ago. They cry out for justice on the part of these victims. One thing to me stands out and is crystal clear from all these grand jury reports. Why didn't somebody call the police? In very rare instances, was law enforcement notified? Why didn't somebody call the police? What does it tell you? It tells me that the hierarchy of the church and some of the clergy had some kind of an agreement, a silent, secret agreement, that this is the way they were going to handle these accusations. Protect the innocent first. Never mind the safety of our precious, innocent children. Protect the institution first. And what are the words that you would come to your mind? Collusion, cover-up, enabling, sacrificing our children. And who has suffered the most, my friends? Who has suffered the most? First, the victims. It's heartbreaking. We cry out on behalf of the victims, and they deserve to have their day in court. They deserve to face their accusers no matter, again, if it was 40 years ago or 40 minutes ago, they deserve to face their accusers in court. But there are also other victims. Other victims. I think of my pastor at my church in St. Ephraim. What a wonderful, amazing man who has dedicated his whole life to the church and to his ministry. I think of our good sisters There has not one accusation been made against our sisters. We've had the sister servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary down in the southeastern Pennsylvania. The Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, whose mission was helping out the Native Americans and African American people in this country. And how about the faithful of the church? We've had to listen and read about these terrible accusations ourselves, so we are victims ourselves. And finally, there's been some talk about this victim compensation fund. Not now. Maybe back in 2005, if something like that was proposed, maybe that would have been accepted and worked. But it's too late. A victim's compensation fund is not going to work. We need this 2-year window. And this bill, I believe, is going to pass today. It's going to go over to the Senate, and I'm not sure if it's going to be taken up this year or not. But this window and this bill, if it doesn't pass this year, eventually is going to pass. If it doesn't pass this year, it's going to pass next year. It's time for my church to accept responsibility for their actions. It's time for healing for the church to start taking place. And the healing will not start until they accept responsibility. It might be the only way for them to accept this bill and this window. It might be the only way for the healing to begin. So, my friends, it's better to have a millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the bottom of the ocean. I ask for an affirmative vote on this bill. Thank you.